All right, guys, today we're climbing into 3D scanning with some climbing holds and the FreeScan Combo Plus. That's right, we've got a variety of climbing holds here today with different surfaces and different textures and different grips and mounting points and all sorts of stuff. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to scan a climbing hold of almost any kind with laser mode on a FreeScan Combo Plus. Now, I've got a variety here in different colors, different surface finishes. We've got smooth, we've got grippy, we've got textured like a rock. So we'll just see a broad example of how well this 3D scanner picks up all those different surfaces. And then I'll show you what it's like to scan both the outside and inside of a hold if you were to replicate it at home yourself. Depending what you're doing, there's a lot of different scanners and there's a lot of different ways to scan. So if you're still struggling, you've seen all our videos on YouTube, seen all the different scanners that we're working with, and you still got questions, we are here to consult you. We're here to help you and answer your questions before you buy the tool, because you want to make sure it's the right tool. So we've got a variety of climbing holds here. This is a request we've got a lot in the last 6 months for some reason. Not sure what's hot out there on the internet, but it's good. And that request is to scan climbing holds. You know, a lot of the times it's the texture or the shape or the unique features on climbing holds that make them really unique. And basically, we're just going to show you how easy it is to 3D scan them in blue laser mode on the FreeScan Combo Plus. Now that's going to capture the surface finish, the texture, the overall geometry and shape of it, so that you could then, maybe you want to go 3D print a copy. Maybe you want to analyze the design and see how much surface area there really is to grip onto. I don't know, there's a lot of different reasons people are doing it. So today, I'm going to show you a couple ways to do it with the FreeScan Combo Plus. So we'll head on right over to the computer here, and I'm just going to set it up in laser mode. So I'm going to click laser. I'm going to create a new project group. And it is important to always select where you're going to save your files so you don't lose your scan data or scan files in some other folder of a past project that could be annoying. So just take the extra couple seconds to select your folder. I'm going to call my project Climbing Holds. Now, when you name your project, that makes the name of the folder and the name of the project. So pick a good name that's unique that you can remember down the road. On some projects, I actually like to put dates. If I'm doing a lot of scans in a day or a week, I'll put the date as part of the project name. So I'm going to go straight into scanning mesh, because you can get a little bit more angles and better tracking if you pre-insert all your markers, but we don't really need to do that most of the time. And I'm going to scan this at 0.2 millimeters. So we're not going to get super fine detail. Like, I mean, if you look closely at this one, it's almost like pumice stone. Now that could be scanned if we wanted to scan at 0.01 millimeters and actually get that detail. In this type of application, that probably doesn't actually matter, because you would add post-processing or different things to the 3D model that you're going to print to get that fine texture. So for the purposes of this demo, I'm just going to scan at 0.2 millimeters and see what we get. So I've got my scan mesh mode, I've got my 50 lines. The difference between the FreeScan Combo Original and the Combo Plus is the amount of laser lines. They doubled the number of laser lines, which effectively doubled the speed. Now, we did a comparison in the unboxing video, so if you want to see that head-to-head comparison, definitely go check out that video. And we have a ton of videos scanning all kinds of different objects and showing you all different kinds of workflows on all the Shining3D scanners and all the 3D scanners that we sell. That's how we make our living. And we make all this content for you so that you can make an informed decision on which scanner and which technology is going to work for you before you buy. And if you still got questions, we got an entire team and we're here every day to answer them. So give us a call, shoot us an email, and we'll make sure to get you set up and help you make the right decision. So right over here, I've got everything set up, normal mode, 50 lines. I'm going to do auto exposure and keep my data quality indicator on there, along with the local enlarged view. I'm actually going to turn that off for now so we can see the entire plate as we scan. And obviously we don't need outdoor mode or view lock right now. So I'll go ahead and start by hitting this button on the back of the scanner. I'm going to let auto exposure finish. All right, and we're picking up data. This is insanely fast. This scanner is much, much faster. Didn't expect that, but it is. FreeScan Combo itself is very fast. If you check out all our other videos, you'll see, but this just works even better. Now the cool part here is I'm getting a black hold on top of a black surface, and that would generally be very difficult because black doesn't reflect light, and these scanners rely on reflected light to triangulate the position of the points. And that means if you're doing dark objects, or shiny objects for that matter, or transparent objects, if it's not reflecting light back, it's hard to gather data. But that's where the blue lasers come in. They are so intense of a light that we can actually capture all that data without using any kind of disappearing scanning spray or anything else like that. So go ahead and go around here. Let me get a little more data on this puppy. Okay, and maybe a little bit on the inside here. Wonderful. All right, let's go ahead and pause and go examine our data. Okay, so let's check this out. I'm gonna come in and look at this. Looks like we could capture a little more data there, kind of missed that area. But the rest of these, you can clearly tell. That's a smooth area, that's a highly textured area. Same on these ones. And again, these little lips here, you can always come back in and scan a little bit more. And then of course, underneath that lip there. So for this part, you would want to flip it over and scan the underside. Now for a part like this, also in there. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm actually gonna do a cutting plane so that I get rid of the surface that I'm scanning on top of, because I don't need to gather point data there. You know, it's not part of the object. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put this up a little bit. And I'll bump that over and apply. So now it's not gonna scan beneath that cutting plane, which is gonna save resources. It's gonna save CPU, it's gonna save RAM, and it's just gonna make everything a little bit better so I can keep scanning for longer. Okay, so if I want, I can add to this scan as long as I haven't moved anything in relation to the markers themselves. I can go ahead and come right back in here, and let's just focus on that one spot inside this climbing hold that was missing data. All right, that should be good. I remember over here on this yellow one, underneath this area, we could get a little more data there. Oops, without losing tracking. Beautiful. And then the white part over here, maybe a little more data, and a little bit more on that blue part. Now getting underneath the lip on this tiny little part is gonna be next to impossible, so we won't even try at this orientation. Let's go ahead and pause my scan and let's see if I got it everything. Okay, so we go into here. That's looking good. You can clearly see all that texture exactly where it's at. I'm gonna come back and get a little bit more of that logo there. And on this one, we got that, nailed it, and same with this one. So maybe I want to save a giant library and I'm just scanning a ton of different geometries. So let me show you what it's like to save this out. But then we're going to go in and we're going to scan this red one here, both sides. So you can see what it's like to scan an entire hold. And we could literally slap that on a 3D printer and have our own hold. So let's do that real quick. First things first is going to be mesh optimization. So when we optimize the mesh, we have these options for filtering, removing small floating parts, maximum triangles, etc. I'm just going to leave that on no filter and everything because we want to preserve the original geometry as it is. So I hit preview and it's going to chunk along and mesh. All right, so now we've got our parts here. Everything's looking good. I'm going to hit confirm. Now I can export all these at the same time, or I can simplify them. I can fill any holes that are there. I can do smoothing and things like that, but for now we're just gonna save it out. I'm gonna save the mesh locally and call it climbing holds. Now again, I gotta go look and make sure I'm in the right folder and then call it climbing holds multiple. We'll go ahead and save that. I'm gonna go back to a blank canvas, start a new project in the laser mode. And I'm gonna call this red climbing hold. Go straight to scan mesh. I'm gonna get these other ones out of the way. Now, one great feature that I do love about being able to use markers. This thing is great, I love having a turntable, but if I just use some of the included markers that come with the scanner, I'm gonna put some on the actual part, and then I'll make it even easier to scan, align, and basically just have a great time with it. Here we go. All right, so we've got our markers on the outside of the part and we've got it around. I didn't put any inside here because I want to capture that texture. I might need to, but we'll see. And then we'll go ahead and flip it over and get the inside. So let's just go for it. I've got it set up here at 0.2 millimeters in 50 lines and normal mode. I will do auto exposure and leave local enlarged view off, but I do want my data quality indicator. So let's go ahead and start now. I'm gonna press the button, let it do its auto exposure, and we're gathering data. All right, that was quick. Let's go ahead and look at the data, see if we got everything. There we go. Very good. Oh, need to get a little bit right there. And it looks like we can read the logo now. This is a cheetah hold. All right, so go ahead and do a cutting plane here again before I get that extra data, just by fitting the point cloud. And create plane, move it up just a hair, apply, delete that extra data, and now I've got more system resources to finish that part of the scan before we flip it over and align both halves. All right, so I need to get a little bit more data. Oh, you know what? I can get a little bit more back there too. So I'm gonna get some on the logo side, on the opposite side, and on the logo side on the inside. So let's do that real quick. Start at the logo side, and we're just gonna add data. Because the markers are on the part, I don't have to worry about having moved my part around or losing the orientation with the other markers. That would be an issue. If I had this on a turntable, I'd have to scan everything again. I'm just gonna face the scanner away, flip it around for ease. Come back in here. Just go over that area. I shouldn't get any of that missing data, as well as on that back wall surface. Okay, that should be good. All right, so there we go. Now I do notice a little bit of stray data here, so what I can do there is just select that, and I'm gonna hit connected domain. A connected domain will select anything that's part of that point cloud, like touching, right? So it knows where the part is, and then I can invert that and select everything else, and then hit delete. So I get rid of everything except for the part. So there we go, invert and delete. Good to go. All right, there we go, looking good. We got all that in there. And no, that's not misalignment. It actually looks like that on the part. And good to go. Okay, so now I want to get the other side of the part. We're gonna flip it over and scan the inside. Now, I do want to throw an extra marker or two just here, just to make sure I have everything in there. And oh, this is fascinating. It says May 8th, 2018, in-service date. So this was actually used, and you can tell by looking at it, this is a well-used, well-worn climbing hold. Let's put one more in here. We should be good to go. So I'll come back here, create a new project. It'll be a blank canvas. We'll do our scan, and then we'll align the two. New project. Scan mesh. Got everything set up. Auto exposure. Local enlarged view off. And let's do it. I'll hit the button in the middle, and we'll get to scanning. I'm gonna adjust my angle on this because it seems it's having a little bit of trouble getting down into that area. And you know what? One thing I haven't shown yet is the single laser line mode. So I'm just gonna hit the button, go into single laser line, and now I have this sniper. It's like I can just go down into there, and I can turn on local enlarged view so I see exactly where I'm getting. And let's just get some more of that side on there. Now, it's having a little trouble tracking. You hear that music in the background. So I'm gonna just add a couple markers around this area. It's giving me a little bit of trouble, and I just wanna make sure it's got 3 or more markers from every angle. So if I just toss in a couple extras, it should work. All right, so I put in a couple extra scanners, and now I should have a little bit better tracking down in there. As you can see, I am getting the data in there, but I think with the extra markers, I can just skip back over to 50 lines and get that data faster. I gotta turn that brightness back up. Here we go. That's another thing. If you've got one of these scanners and if it's ever not picking up as much data as you expect, a lot of the times, just slide that brightness up. More intensity, more light, more data. Now this area is more reflective, so it definitely takes a little bit more effort to get the full data versus some of the areas are chalky and white and non-reflective, and that makes it much easier to scan in any situation. And that's actually why we carry things like a sub orange. This is a disappearing scanning spray that you can spray on just about anything, and it will disappear within, well, we've got different modes. The blue is 2 to 4 hours. The orange is like really 12 to 24 hours. And then there is a permanent spray that can be washed off. They also have transparent, and they're all available at visionminer.com. So if you're looking for scanner accessories, extra markers, spare parts, what have you, we've got it all at visionminer.com. So just check out our website or reach out, give us a call. We love talking to people. Okay. Plenty of stuff going on here, lots of extra scan data. Let's go in and clean it all up real quick. All right, so first things first, I always like to grab my cutting plane. Let's get rid of that whole surface down there. Almost effortless, hit apply. And then my next move is gonna be the connected domain tool. So I'm gonna select part of the part, and then connected domain to select just the part, and then invert that to delete everything that's not the part. So I go in with my paintbrush here. Make sure I'm on select visible, not select through. Grab some of that, hit connected domain. Now you can see the whole part is selected. I can invert that and delete all the extra data. Then I just hit apply edit. It's gonna process that, and we're gonna have our second scan. Now, next, we're gonna go in and align these scans. For a part like this, it's very unique, it's not very symmetrical, it should align very quick and easy, no problem. If it doesn't, automatically, we've always got manual alignment, which works every time. So let's see what it does. Project 1 and project 2 in any order. Normally, if you have markers on a part, you could align the 2 halves of that part with the markers. The problem here is that there's no 2 markers on the same scan. So there's like all these markers are only on the inside and all these markers are only on the outside, and we didn't cross over. So I am gonna have to use geometry alignment or manual alignment for this one. But that's one thing to consider. If you've got markers on a part and you scan it, a lot of times accuracy and alignment is perfect. So here we go. I'm gonna use automatic mode and apply. And as you can see, it didn't work at all. So now we get to do it the little longer way and go select points manually. Okay, now one thing that's missing from this scan is shared surfaces with the other scan. If I'm gonna go and align this together, that probably isn't gonna work too well. So I wanna give myself the advantage, and I'm gonna do a little bit more scanning on this edge, but I'm gonna come down so they can see the markers on the outside, just for a small patch of surface and markers so that it aligns very quick and easily in just a moment. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and click scan. And I'm just gonna try to come down on the edge here. Okay, let's see how that did. Okay, so now I've got my part. I've got 3 markers. I don't need this data. We got it on the other scan, and we're good to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and do another connected domain real quick, just to get rid of those flying features, and go invert and delete. Now I'm gonna apply that edit, and we're gonna go directly into alignment mode. All right, so we got all our markers, we got both edges. Now let's go into the alignment menu and align those 2 halves. So I select project 1, project 2, I'm gonna go auto feature alignment. Let's see if it works. Hit apply, and it did not work as expected. Not enough geometry by itself to align the two. So we're gonna go to our next option, which is by markers. It should be able to pick up those 3 markers on that side, matching the exact geometry of the previous scan. We should be good to go. All right, let me do manual markers alignment. So 1, 2, and 3. Hit apply. All right, there we go. We've got them aligned. So we didn't have quite enough markers to automatically align, but it was simple and a breeze just to select those 3 markers that we got on both models and align them together. So now we can export a solid mesh and slap this thing on a 3D printer or take it into a CAD program to reverse engineer it. Next, exit, fantastic, great stuff. And I'm gonna go ahead and do mesh optimization. Now I am gonna use a standard filter and remove spikes and whatnot, so we'll go ahead and process this now. All right, there we go. It has meshed the model. Let's take a look. Now you can see wherever you place markers, it does not put data, but you can also see this beautiful smooth textured surface and this very highly textured pumice-like surface. You can tell the difference. If we want to 3D print it, we need a watertight mesh, so I can just go ahead and select marker hole filling, and I can process that. All right, so here we go. Now we've got all the holes filled, and we've got a watertight, essentially watertight STL that we can do. So I'm gonna go ahead and confirm. Now I'm gonna go auto hole filling, because there are some more holes around the edges here. And so I'm just going to go ahead and preview that. It's gonna fill the holes for me. We'll have a watertight mesh, and then we'll export that as an STL and give it a quick 3D print. All right, guys, we've got the print. It worked out great. Here it is. We wanted to get this video done quickly as opposed to waiting overnight, so we just went ahead and printed a miniature. But dude, let's check this out. This is freaking cool. It's tiny, but you can still see the little detail where the edge of the texture goes over there and where all the little bolt holes were, and it's literally an ant-sized replica. We could literally build a climbing gym for ants at this point. Or we could print it full size and see how that works out. So if you want to see us print this full size and maybe actually take it to a climbing gym and do some climbing, it's unlikely, but let me know in the comments below and there's a chance we'll actually do it. But now when it comes to 3D printing something like this, I can almost guarantee we will do that as a project on this channel. Most likely on our 22IDX 3D printer. So if you're into 3D scanning, 3D printing, and you're looking for equipment, and you need to know that there's gonna be ROI and that it's gonna work for your business, call us up, shoot us an email. That's what we do all day, every day. We've got thousands of examples and client stories. So if you still have questions, give us a call. We're here to help you directly over the phone, email, live video demos, you name it, we got it, we'll make it happen. All right, guys, so that's it for today. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it made it more clear as to which scanner you should get. And if you still got questions, give us a call, shoot us an email. We're here to help. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Have a positive rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next one.